I'm not Johnny Good. So I'll take just 15 minutes to be on the site so that we can be on the schedule. It's not what I want at this point. So, thank you, Ellen, for inviting us. And then this is our third representation here at Smart Card Summit. You know, in the last 2 hours, we have covered quite a lot of information regarding the levels of autonomy, the policies, regulations, and everything. So today, I'm going to address, I'll cut to the chase, and I'll talk about our lidars and how they're going to help, self-driving autonomy in world. Okay. Before that, I'll just start with lots of quotes we heard today, right? Jill mentioned lots of quotes, and then Sam mentioned some quotes. And the quote that fits us is, in the recent weeks, Elon Musk made a comment that, okay, the people who are using lidars for autonomy are doomed. So I just want to give you a little description of what are 3D lidars? Why do you need them? So this is one of the exact scenario we are going to talk about.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's a little bit more risk, but yeah.
So this is at the dark, nighttime, person wearing dark clothes going. This is what camera sees, our naked eyes see, right? When the person comes around 30 to 40 meters, that's when you realize, oh, there is a person. And you continue, and it's pitch dark there, right? This is exactly what cameras do. And the exact same scenario with lidars. So at 100 meters before, it detected somebody, and it's about probably 40, 50 meters, it's saying, hey, there is a person. You're tracking that object from 110 meters. And then now, at 20 meters, you can, at 40, when you're going at 40 meters, 40 miles per hour, you need at least 20 meters to safely stop your vehicle. So you see that there is a person. So this is the exact same scenario at night. What we see as a human beings, and then what cameras see, and this is exactly what lidars see. There is another example of this. So this is deer crossing the road, okay, at night, at dusk. This is exactly the same scenario where deer is going at night. From the top-down approach, you can track that object. So they can see the objects around 100 to 200 meter range, and still you can track those objects. And this is another video. Deer crossing the road. That's what we see at dusk in the with our naked eyes or with the cameras. And the challenges. This is the same exact scenario with LiDAR, what we see. So you see a deer walking by and then into the woods. So you can track the objects or animals or humans from a longer distances. And that is exactly what we see. There is a clear indication that that's a deer, and it's there, it will go away. Also, there are different types of LiDARs, right? So 3D LiDAR versus 2D LiDAR. So I give you a small video of this. This is a drone that, we'll map this drone, and then I will tell you what you see in 2D LiDAR. There is no depth, there is no distance calculations, there is no reflective, anything. You just see there is something moving around the LiDAR. in the room. Whereas with the 3D LiDARs, you can see that you can actually, with this LiDAR information, you can see this is a person who is traveling, who is like running around in the room. So there is a depth to the picture, there is a distance, you can actually measure how far away a person is. So this is all important, and this is all the information that LiDAR provides to us. Okay, this would be really useful when we go into self-driving or autonomy. You need this reflectivity, like when you are driving on the cars, there are like pavements, there are reflectors. You need to know how far away they are and what they are. You know, whether it's just a ball or like, you know, whether it's actually a road sign. You should be able to distinguish between those two and many others. So, there is a saying, I mean, I'm not saying it's LiDARs are the only sensors that you should use on the vehicles, right? It's an army of sensors. You need cameras, you need LiDARs, you need radars. So this is all like to have something, you know, the redundancy in the data, because we are not there yet to be fully autonomous. So you need to get to there, you need to make use of the technology that is available. Our vehicle that I was showing is the Navia's vehicle. That's fully autonomous. That was, being driven in Europe between different airports, airport terminals. So I'll talk about a little bit of the Velodyne Lidar, what we do, and then who founded this. Our company was founded by David Hall. He's an engineer, he's a motorcycle enthusiast, he's hands-on like robotics guy. So he really enjoys working on solving the problems. He's also the inventor of 3D LiDARs. So how did it start? He participated in DARPA Challenge in 2004. He came third, but he couldn't finish the entire course. The main reason he says is because he totally relied on cameras as the perception system. So there is nothing else. I'm not going to show the video, but I have a video of that DARPA challenge as well. So he came back and said, okay, I need to create a sensor or something that gives better perception about the environment. I want to know what is around me, right? I want more data that needs to come in, and then no data is more data, so that's the more the data is better. So he participated in, instead of going back to DARPA next year, he just invented the LiDAR. So these are our products. So in 2007, Carnegie Mellon and then Stanford University used the first one, HDL-60 course, and participated in DARPA challenge, and they came first and second. So instead of participating himself, they utilized our LiDARs. Ever since, we have grown tremendously, and also different sets of LiDARs that are used for mapping, that are used for robotics, etc. This year we introduced Velodyne. It's a short-range sensor that is useful for blind spot detectors, detection, and also short range. It's a 30 to 40 meter range. So it's a pretty small, but with a 180 by 180 field of view. So I just talk. There is a small video. I won't show the entire video. That's a minute and a half. So I just here so that you get some picture of it. months, you want to know whether, kid is coming or cyclist is there. If you want to make if you want to turn or change lanes, you need to know that information. Since it's 180 by 180, you can clearly see that with this sensor. Simulation. We just released it at CES, so we have a working prototype. Anybody wants to come and take a look at it, the demo of it, I would be happy to give that demo. Yeah. Okay, I'll just stop it here. So, moving on, we also have Vela, that's a Lidar software that we are developing. So this is to help with the current, advanced lane keeping, adaptive cruise control, or emergency braking, etc. So that's available with that comes with our Velodyne products. Where do we use these lidars? Pretty much everywhere, wherever there is autonomy, lidars are being used. So in the mapping world, in security, or in marine, there is a virtual VRs, everywhere it's being used. I'll give you some, pictures where the military is using our lidars. And also all the major OEMs that are working on L2 to L5 autonomy are using the lidars as a perception, one of the perception systems. And we had talks from Autonomy and Ali. There's a shuttle outside, and also the Optimus Flight. Pretty much all the shuttles that are in US and Europe are using our lidars there as a perception system. Drones are being used, aerial surveys, and also in the maritime. So it's a marine that using this lidars to see where, at night time, that's the main advantage of lidar is you can see in the dark. So you can see where the ships are and what's coming into the port. Okay. And also in the robotics perception system when you train them. What are the trends, current trends? We talked about, our Tesla being outside with the L2. That's Tesla and GM are the two companies that have the most sophisticated L2 technology currently. Okay, Cruise uses our LiDAR mapping. That's the first company that used our LiDAR mapping to do the self-driving or to get to that L2 level. And in Germany and in Asia, they're already a little further into autonomy. I'll skip through this. Everybody knows about different levels of autonomy from SAE, level 1 to level 5. Right now, most of them are working in US, are working on L2. And in Europe, they're working on L3, and Asia, L2 and L3 combined. So there is no one at this point who are totally level 3 or level 4 or level 5. So the benefits I'll skip through because in the morning there are lots of presentations. They went over quite a lot about the benefits of autonomy, what kind of policies we should be looking at, and then on what regulations we need. Even just now, we had a panel discussion, so I'll skip that. Pardon? Any questions? Okay. So I'll just skip through the same. One thing that I want to point in this one is the pedestrian death rates went up by almost, 35%, right? Since 2008. That's very alarming. So it could be because pedestrians think they have the right of way and then they just go, or drivers could be, they are being more negligent, right? So this will stop with our autonomous vehicles. can just skim through. The other thing that I want to point out is like economically, like this is the traditional Detroit OEM thinking. So they sell the individual cars are being sold every year, right? And then even if you think an average it's $90,000 per car, it's going to, produce $1.5 trillion of money. But that adds up to only 2% of GDP. Okay? Whereas with the Silicon Valley thinking, or like the new thinking where the ride sharing is having that in mind, a fleet operator can own the cars. If they drive about like 10 million or trillion miles, and if you think about like dollar per mile or like less than that, it's more than the traditional GDP would get you. So it's about like 10 to 13% GDP. So there is an economic value as well here. And the quality of life obviously would improve because the common commuter would spend about 60 minutes on the road driving every day. So, and also as mobility, for disabled or like, for the disadvantaged or children, for example, they can take these, autonomous cars and then they can just like Uber and then go wherever they want. I already talked about the L2 trends in US. We are still working on level 2 and our, the sensors. They want long range and then low cost. That's how we can improve it and we can get to it. L3 is in Europe. They're already in L2 stage. In the morning we were talking about Sweden. Sweden already has self-driving technology, so they are working on L3s right now. So Bernard just mentioned that, okay, there are some scenarios where, as a human being, we would just think our brains are like more complex and more, react faster. So we think, oh, there's somebody coming and then we'll just cut through or like, go a couple of inches into that yellow lane, right? So those are all the new intelligence that companies are putting into in order to make it L3. And also, Japan, it's both L2 and L3. And the sensors that you see along this, these are like short-range sensors that I'll talk about it very briefly that our company is coming up with. Those are like more small form factor and then embedded into the consumer cars. So, autonomous driving, it's a revolution, right? From starting with the carriages to the trains to cars, and then with the self-driving, it's there. It looks like this. Right now, the traffic is, as in the morning, we saw that it's like ants going on. So from the sensor's point of view, we have the sensors ready for even if we were to go for L4. The sensors are ready. But the thing is, from the software point of view, from the architecture, and then how do you take all this data and then, make it more usable to be like autonomous? So that is not there yet. So this is the new product, that form factor that you're going to see. The small 1 by 2 inch sensors that I showed. That's the data from that sensor. It's a prototype model, it's not out yet, so that's all I have for now. I'll leave you with a sensor, a video of BMW. I think it's really good what's coming on into autonomous world. Also tomorrow we have a workshop on Lidars, radars and everything, so you should come and check it out. That's workshop number 7. Thank you.